We know each other. He's a friend from work.
Hell yes, I get to ride the dragon.
What the hell's wrong with you people?
I know Kung Fu.
Tank, you want to switch? You want to switch?
No, I'm good. I got it.
Stay down.
I could do this all day.
If you had to transform into one mythical creature and then get married to a different mythical creature.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Maximum effort. How about a magic trick?
HR.
Not an animal.
HR. It's HR.
Somebody call HR down here.
That man is playing Galaga.
Welcome to the Nerds from Work, your weekly escape into the world of geeks, nerds, and guys, I've got a question for you. What do you like better, wedding season or San Diego Comic-Con season?
I mean, I'm really a wedding person. It really brings out the joy of the time of the year.
Shut up. We're talking San Diego Comic-Con this week. So I hope that everybody has a lot of time because, as you know, this is the #1 nerd event of the year. Everything holds its shit until it's San Diego Comic-Con. Like, shit,
Real
what?
talk.
We had to have Charles McFall on a panel. Like, that's how bottom barrel we were getting until San Diego Comic-Con. Okay? So let's do this real quick. Let's do a roundup, and then let's get right into San Diego Comic-Con because there's so much. This is probably one of the best San Diego Comic-Cons. But before that,
Oh, I just spray shit all over my monitor.
It's a good way to ruin your computer.
I know.
I know that we all wait. Rue, what kind of cup is that?
It's one of those specialty cups at Mercedes-Benz Arena.
Wait. Does it have Atlanta United on the other side?
No, it doesn't. This is for the stadium itself.
But nobody wants to go to the stadium for this. It is a beautiful stadium.
It is a beautiful stadium.
It is beautiful.
Too bad the ceiling doesn't work.
Man, well, you know, you win some, you lose some. All right, Tank, what have you been up to this week?
Man, I have been not doing a whole lot actually. I forgot a couple weeks ago, I guess about 2 weeks ago now, I started playing Pillars of Eternity 2, which I beat the first one several months ago, and 2 went on sale for the summer Steam sale, and me and the old man picked it up, and so I've been playing through that, and those games are fucking dope. That and I ran a one-shot for my brother and his friends. He's a freshman in high school, so that was fun.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Good, man. All right, Rue, what have you been up to?
I have been trying to catch up on my reading list, actually. I had a bunch of books I bought. I bought a book that I found out one of the guys in my chat group, or my Facebook group, won an award for in England for a novel he wrote, and I'm like, wow, really? So I bought the book, and then I added it to my books by Braxton Cosby, and finally finished Cape. So that was one down. I got like 4 more books to go through. So this whole week has been about catching up on stuff. Oh, also bought some huge Bible comic books from my daughter, and Daddy got to read them first. You know. So anyway, just kind of looking through ahead of time, just make sure there's nothing in there she shouldn't read.
Yeah, it's like when I buy any kind of food for my children, you have to eat it first to make sure it's not poison.
Right.
But only if it looks really good.
Yeah.
All right, Brandon, I know you have something. What did you do this week?
I had a birthday.
No, you didn't. Mom didn't even call you. So
Whose birthday?
I bought a Nintendo Switch.
Nice.
Yeah, so I got that. And I got Zelda and Super Smash Bros. For my first 2 games. And then when I bought them, I realized how much a wasted plastic and material and shit buying a game is. They don't even, dude, there's not even a book in here anymore.
No.
It's literally this whole case. And it's just the game clips in this little. I'm not in front of the camera. This little tiny.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, it's cool, really cool picture on the inside when you open it up. But I was like, why the fuck do we even have these anymore? I don't really get it.
Dude, so out of the 4 of us, who still buys physical games? Who buys the majority of their games physical copy?
I usually don't. I only did because I was buying it with the console.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I know that you and I buy a lot of our games digitally.
Mm-hmm.
So
Most
who
of that stuff's
actually
on
still
Steam,
goes to GameStop, that rip off store? Okay. I just want to
I
make
don't see the point. What's the point?
Yeah. Because you gotta get out of your house and go do all sorts of shit.
Well, like, and
On my PS4, what I eventually
Now-
did was buy an extra hard drive so I could just store more stuff in it. So
so
For
I could understand if I was going to get a game late, right? Like if I was going to get Zelda today, it's like, okay, maybe GameStop has a used one for like
Sure.
$20 less.
Yeah.
But I think that all of the game systems have realized this, and they're like, oh, the game's been out for a year. Let's drop the price from 60 to 40.
Yep.
Like,
But they also realize that no one buys the physical copies anymore, and that's why they don't put anything into the packaging and stuff. Like I just said, I was like, yeah, there's like nothing here. Like if they were still putting the book in there and they were still doing all the stuff they used to do, like they would lose so much more than they probably already are losing on physical copies.
Right.
see, I understand the collector's edition. Like if you're buying a collector's edition that comes with all that extra crap,
Yeah.
then it's like, okay, the physical copy, I get it.
Like
Like when they had the Master Chief helmet that came with
Yeah.
the Halo stuff.
I got a collector's edition of Skyward Sword that came with the orchestra CD came with it. It was pretty dope.
See, like that I understand a physical copy for. But if it's like, yeah, Smash Bros, I'm just going to get it. I would just download it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah,
All the games from here out, I probably will download. But but like my first two games that I got for, I was like, I'm just gonna get them because I'm here already.
And what pisses me off about that is even though you buy the physical copy, you still have to wait for the ship to update.
Dude, that was what Jason was like, dude, how were the games? And I was like, I haven't played. I played Super Smash Bros. Yesterday for like 10 minutes or something. He was like, why haven't you? And I was like, the whole first day I was just like Zelda is such a huge game.
It's fucking
Like
enormous.
I have the physical copy because that was another thing. I was like, the first ones I'll just get the copy because then I'll have something to play.
Right.
No, dude.
No.
It was just like Zelda was downloading for hours and I just went
Yeah.
to sleep. Yeah, it's such a massive game that I was just like,
So stupid.
I can't play. I'm just gonna put it on the charger and let it sit. But I'm excited. Smash Bros is cool. So.
That's dope.
This week I have I finished my outline for my book. So that is good.
For the magic one, the
Yes.
Okay.
And I am going back through and hopefully soon talking about publishing. That would be cool. But so I finished that. I read The Cape. I've started reading Dark Crystal's books, which I'll get into that later. My daughter is reading them, so it's like a family thing. She loves the show, so we're doing that together.
Dark Crystals.
The Dark
Is
Crystal.
that the David Bowie?
Movie.
It's like a White Castle.
Yeah, it's like White Castle in Mexico.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
miniature tacos.
Miniature tacos. Little gross ass tacos. Yeah, dude, okay, so here's how bad it's been with my writing. I have found like this super sick ass keyboard, right? The one I sent you, Brandon. The
Yeah.
typewriter
It
one?
looks awesome.
Yeah, so it's a typewriter keyboard.
know what you're talking
That
about.
shit is dope. So I'm like, oh yeah, this is so
$7
great.
million or something.
It is.
I've been doing so much writing. My daughter came into my room the other night and she was like, Dad, my ear hurts. And I was like, oh, I'll get peroxide tomorrow. Like, it's okay. And she was like, but it hurts right now. And I was like, well, just get the keyboard on it and you're fine. And my wife was like, wait, what? And I was like half asleep, half awake. And what woke me up was my daughter went, how's the keyboard going to help? and this is at like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And I said this after. I didn't say it to their face, but you'll think it's funny, Tank, because this is the Marine in me. She questioned me saying, how is the keyboard going to help? And in my mind, I went, well, if I hit you across the face with a keyboard, you'll forget about your ear. I didn't say it to her at 2 a.m.
Yeah,
but I
you
thought
claim.
it.
Yeah, so you claim.
And I was like, you know what? Before I start cussing out my 8-year-old, I just need to like, Kels, deal with this.
That's dude.
Handle my lightweight. I'm gonna go to sleep.
Oh
my God.
Yeah, so I've done so much writing, it's taking over like everything, which is cool. But at the same time, it's just like it's taxing, man. Because I gave myself a finish date. So like I gave myself a timeline.
Yeah, if you don't, then you'll never finish any.
I've been so.
I mean, you got to pace yourself with the best, right? Braxton's
You-
already got like 15 books out in
Yo,
5
that
years.
dude's a machine, though.
Well, so I've been doing so
doesn't
much
have kids.
research into writing, right? Because I'm like, okay, so I'm developing my entire world. I'm developing everything. So I'm like, all right, I want to make sure I do this right. And I'm doing a lot of research. And they're like, oh, yeah, set a deadline for yourself. Set this, set that. And I was like, okay. The one thing that I thought was cool, Brandon, and Brandon's known me the longest, and he's the one that told me to write this book. But I have all these ideas, but none of them ever stick. So it's like, oh, yeah, what about this idea? And Brandon's like, oh, that's sick. And I'm like, whatever. Whatever. But this idea just keeps building and building and building. And one thing that Stephen King says is like, don't ever write anything down because that's a way to immortalize a bad idea. But if there's an idea that stays and it keeps building and you're always thinking about it and you keep telling people about it, write that down. Don't write down the one where it's like, oh, yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Like the one that you keep thinking about. And I keep building this in my head, but
That's another thing too. Like if you do write down like an initial concept or something and then just like try to completely forget about it and come back to it like a couple days later, like weeks later or something. And if you look at it and you're like, what the fuck was I thinking? Then it's probably a bad idea. If you look at it and you're like, oh, I can kind of see like whatever, it's probably a bad idea. Like that's how drawing is for me too. Like I'll draw something and then I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna go on to the next thing. And like I give myself a timeline of like, all right, after like 2 weeks, I'm gonna look back at these drawings and the ones that are trash, I'm just gonna throw away. I'm just gonna rip them off and just trash them and never go back to them. If there's like a component of it that I like, then I'm like, okay, I'll draw something new with that. Of it, and then just trash the old one so I don't look at anything else and get re-inspired by shitty ideas.
Yeah. So other than that, that's taking up all my time. So let's get into things that are not Marvel, okay? Because Marvel dropped some big ass news at San Diego Comic-Con. So you get that Hall H shit. Okay.
You mean
so let's get into one thing a piece that we loved about SDCC 2019. I tried to shorten it and it doesn't sound good.
No, it doesn't.
Tank, what did you notice?
So I got to bring my boy Picard into the conversation. So
Naturally.
yeah, of course, right? No one else is going to, so it's gonna have to be me.
That is true. No one else was gonna say that.
Right. So I watched Star Trek Discovery, which I didn't really like the first season. Most people didn't. Second season was much better. Then they announced that Picard was getting his own season, his own show. And all I knew about it is it's set like 20 years after the last Next Generation movie. And he's like not part of Starfleet anymore. And then that's like all I really heard. And I was like, this sounds like the dumbest freaking idea. Like I hate movies where like my problem with like the first Thor movie is he's not Thor for like 8/10 of that movie. And I hate when like, oh, it's a Thor movie, but then he's not. They take away his powers. Same thing, Star Trek, but he's not in Starfleet. Like, that making sense. All that to say, the teaser trailer came out during Comic-Con, and I'm actually pretty pumped because Jerry Ryan is coming back as 7 of 9, and she's still fucking hot. Brent Spiner is coming back as Data, which is weird if you've seen
Data.
If you've seen the last movie, we shouldn't really have Data, so I'm not really sure what they're gonna do with that. And then we're gonna get a bunch of new characters that I know number 1 and the empath chick, his female companion.
Is Data like the person's actual name or is it like a nickname?
No, that's his actual name because he's an android.
Yeah, he's a cyborg.
He's an android.
Does someone get
Troy? Thank you, Kurt. Dr. Troy. Yeah. So Riker and Troy.
People give him that name. Data is plural. His name should be Datum. It's only one person.
Well, there's 2 of them in the last movie, so
the pair is Data.
Yeah. So
Datum.
So I'm super pumped because like I said, I was not looking forward to it. The trailer has me hooked, and now I will watch when it comes out next year. Early next year is when it comes on. So I'm pumped.
All right, Rue. What do you got?
Hey, believe it or not, I was gonna say something else, but the one thing that I liked isn't so much a thing. It was more what they did. The Russo brothers at Hall H was understatedly interesting for me because one of the things that tends to happen is the whole movie industry is going after all these huge, big, tentpole movies, right? And the Russos don't seem to have forgotten their roots, like how they came up doing smaller stuff, and all their announcements, the stuff that they were announcing, they've got animations they're working on, movies they're working on, and I like the fact that they're actually taking their fame and money and putting it behind some of these smaller projects just to give other guys a leg up. It's kind of like, yeah, that's cool. Like when you stop to think about it, I mean, they could easily have jumped onto the next big thing. Some like some guys were so thinking about the next big thing they wanted to do that they pretty much shit on their current project just because they wanted to do Star Wars. I'm not naming names. Having said that, I like that about what they did in Hall H. And they also made an announcement that I thought was pretty interesting that their they bought the rights to what's the name of that G-Force group again? Battle of the Planets. And I'm like,
Battle of the Planets.
That is from way back. Like
it's good though.
It is.
That is like
my first
Power Rangers.
Yeah, I'm like, okay,
they had that
guys bought this.
Yeah,
not too long ago.
And I'm like, I'm trying to picture the Russos behind that. The good thing though is they said if they do it, it's going to be live action. So just trying to picture the Russos directing a live action Battle of the Planets has me hopeful that some other thing interesting will show
Thundercats.
up.
Oh.
Thundercats. Oh,
I was never a big Thundercats fan. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I liked the show, but wasn't. Yeah. I don't know. That was never one of the things that really got me excited.
Something about Chitara.
But yeah, that was it for me in terms of non-Marvel stuff because I pretty much focused only on Marvel stuff
I think
the
a lot
entire
of time on Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
All right, Brandon.
Look at this Instagram filter I just made.
Nice.
That is what came out of San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah. I watched the trailer for His Dark Materials. And I was
that was number 3 on my list.
Yeah. I was pretty stoked by that. It's like, the people in it are fucking amazing. Like,
so wait a minute.
cast for that.
Is this a remake of that movie, The Golden Compass?
Well, it's based off a book.
Right. But is this a retelling of that?
I think so. I think it's kind of like
more badass.
The Last Airbender shit the bed with the movie, so they're making a live action TV show, and that's
right.
Also what happened here, I think. But yeah, this looks sick with X-23 or whatever. Playing the lead girl from Logan,
and also
from Logan. Yeah, Lin-Manuel Miranda, fucking Hamilton, like one of the most famous people in the world.
It looked amazing. Like that trailer,
so good,
amazing.
Yeah, it looks so good. And if like he wrote music for it, I would be more stoked on it because he's amazing at writing music. Because he did all of Moana as well.
Oh,
did you guys see this trailer Brandon's talking about?
No.
Oh, cool. It's so
have
good.
to watch it.
I think I saw it, but the whole property made no, like, I don't know it. So I'm like,
you didn't understand what was happening.
So I'm like, okay, this is that's
read like a sliver of the backstory and then rewatch it. It's actually like, I'm very excited because I didn't read the books or watch the movie. I just know about the books, and a lot of people read the books and told me about it and how good the series is or whatever.
Mhm.
And it makes me stoked on it. Sorry,
I know.
Someone opens their door.
I think the movie was aimed at children. This TV show is not aimed at children.
Yeah,
the TV show I saw looks like they're trying to catch the old, that Game of Thrones type of.
Yeah, it's almost like a young adults or like
Stranger
Things. Like you could be a teenager or you could be an adult and enjoy this. Right.
So
yes, there were actually a few things that I was looking at that I was like, oh, I could talk about this, or I could talk about, but that was one I was like, that's the one that stuck in my head and popped to my brain first because I do a lot of prep for this show.
So Naru, I think you're the only one who is still pretty consistent with the DC TV stuff. So do you have any thoughts on Doom Patrol going to HBO Max?
I didn't even hear about that. For real?
Oh, so Kurt in the chat was saying Doom Patrol, I guess, is going to HBO Max, which is
That's about the only place it could probably go.
I heard it was getting a second season.
Because that show, listen, Doom Patrol is one of those shows that's really good and really different. Like, there's nothing. I mean, I know some of that other quirky animation stuff try to, sorry, not animation, other stuff try to toe that line, but Doom, you never knew what was coming with Doom Patrol. I mean, there's no more boundaries to break, I think, that you can do within, on television. I mean, there's short of trying to go outside of, straight up sex scenes, there's nothing they haven't done. You had a guy, literally his power is digging into people's toilets, bathrooms, and pulling out their chin hair and stuff and eating it and sensing where they were.
It's a good power.
Sounds
delicious.
I'm sure it does to you too. For me, it grossed me out just watching it. I'm like, and I rarely get grossed out. But the show definitely deserves to live on, even if they do cancel DC Universe, which rumor is they're going to.
Well, like, Young Justice is getting season 4, Titans is getting season 2, the animated Harley Quinn series. I think all that's supposed to be on.
But see, the thing is, what Naru is saying, and then these other shows, the other shows are okay for everyone, right? Like Titans, it's edgy, but
it's still a superhero fair.
It's still like teens can watch it and they're not freaked out. And Young Justice, I mean, my kid like Young Justice. Right. All of these shows are okay for DC, but that Doom Patrol crosses that line so many times. Maybe it's a smarter move to move it, keep it in canon, but move it to another more adult platform.
Sure.
And let it roll from there.
Makes sense.
The funny thing about the show, though, is it doesn't do anything. It's great storytelling. They really, I'm really starting to care about the weirdest human beings in the world. But they will you want represent. Think of anything. Gay rights, it's front and center. Trans rights, it's front and center. Multiple sorts of diverse characters, it's front and center. I mean, you got a bisexual.
What about airsexuals?
Street metro. I don't know what they called it. Street. I mean, there's nothing they will not do on the show. So yeah, man, like it deserves to continue to live on. I'm looking forward to seeing more of it. I don't know where I'm going to see more of it, but the only other thing that has me kind of confused is that they canceled Swamp Thing, and I have no clue why they did that. Like,
dude, that trailer freaked me out. There's no way in hell I was watching that show.
I didn't watch it, but everybody I know who's watched it. And I'm talking about guys.
It got canceled. I didn't watch it though. I have no idea why it got canceled.
Here's the thing: everybody, I can probably find 20 guys. I know that sounds weird, but I can probably find
20 dudes
watch DC Universe shows, and they watch Swamp Thing, they watch Titans, they watch Doom Patrol, and they rate Swamp Thing higher than every other show there. I'm like, and they're like, why did they cancel this show? Like, this was one show that had potential.
Didn't it get canceled before like the first episode even aired?
Yeah,
the
first episode aired and they announced it was canceled.
The first episode aired and it was canceled.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I've actually got two things. Of course, I'm a one-upper. One is because my kid is looking forward to it so much that now I'm into it, and it's The Dark Crystal. She watched that old 1980s Jim Henson movie.
Was that the one with David Bowie?
Yes.
Okay, I need to watch it. I think you told me to watch it.
I did. I told you need to watch it because so there's an element of world building there that is so crazy, and I keep going back to this movie when I'm looking at writing my book because they do this really, really great world building where it's like you only know this much about this world, right? And you've never seen any of it, but it's like taking you to pieces. And there's one part of the movie where it's like literally 30 minutes before the movie ends, right? And the main character meets a girl, and they've been together the whole movie, and then the girl sprouts wings And the boy is like, well, wait a minute, I don't have wings. And she goes, oh yeah, that's because you're a boy, silly. And she flies away because they're like the last two of their race. And it's like, the fuck? Like this whole fucking movie, she had wings. And it's like last 30 minutes, like, oh yeah, I got wings. It flies away. It's like, what the fuck? But the world building is really, really cool. And Netflix aired like a full behind the scenes. Nice. Like a behind the scenes. And that made me even more excited for the Dark Crystal.
Oh boy, because Labyrinth.
Every single thing in the Dark Crystal Age of the Resistance, hand done. So all the puppets are handmade, all the backgrounds are hand painted. There's no, like, everything is an actual artist rendition.
Okay, I think I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's puppets.
Yeah, and they almost look like Warriors of Virtue.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Laura Bailey posted about it, Tank.
Who did?
Laura Bailey.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
I mean, it's old as shit, but...
Yeah, because she posted about it saying she was excited about this.
New. Yeah.
Yeah,
she posted it a while ago when they announced that like it was going to happen type thing.
Gotcha.
It's amazing. It's got like this huge cult following, but this show is so amazing because everything is hand done. And if you watch the behind the scenes, if you're an artist and you watch the behind the scenes, you will want to watch this show strictly for the art.
That's cool.
Because everything's hand done. But the one thing that I loved, which is kind of on that weird train with Brandon, Carnival Row, Amazon Prime's new show. Did you guys watch that trailer?
Nope.
So it starts off with Orlando Bloom like walking through, and he's got like it's like
dreamy
1920s, 1930s.
Orlando Loom.
Yeah, Orlando Loom looming through England. So he's like making his way down the street. And then, like, all of these random ass characters, like creatures, start popping up, like fairies, centaurs, minotaurs, like just crazy shit popping up. And he's like, "Oh yeah, you know, we used to live in a town." So I'm guessing it takes place before World War II. This city is like full of magical creatures, and then during World War II, they start invading and killing off all these magical creatures. So Orlando Bloom like leads a revolution against the armies coming in. I was like, this is amazing. Like going back to old shit, like World War II. Oh, it looks so good.
Need to look it up.
Did you guys ever watch the movie Bright with Will Smith?
I did.
No. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was. I mean, it wasn't like I'm gonna win an Oscar, but I thought it was a good movie. And for some reason, when you're describing it, I get hints of that Bright feel where it's just like magical creatures are commonplace and like magic's just a thing,
right?
But they live alongside humans and stuff like that.
Cool thing about this one was like in the first 30 seconds of the trailer, everything was normal. There was no like you didn't know, and then it was like a fairy sprouted wings and like flew away, and you're like,
oh yeah, wait a second,
what?
yeah.
You're like, wait a minute, and then like as it got weirder and weirder as the trailer kept going, and then like the armies come in and you're like, whoa, wait a minute, like wait. This is
it said welcome to the Men in Black.
Yeah, it was like and at the end they're like, look at this dot right here.
That's funny.
So talking about mind erasing, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this episode.
Are you guys all charging Area
Because
51?
Huh?
What?
No, mama.
Have you seen that thing on the internet about people are gonna like the thing on the internet is everybody's gonna bomb rush Area 51 like on this specific day.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And like, have you seen the meme where it's Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones like from their Men in Black characters? They're like, God, you guys do this every year. Like, what do you mean? This is the first time we've ever done this. They're like, yeah, look right here. So,
oh my God, you guys do this every. No, it's first.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, yeah. On to the real topic. Sorry.
No.
Good one.
What's the guy's name from Blues Brothers? Dan Aykroyd. Have you ever heard his thing about the real Men in Black? The dude is like a huge alien conspiracist.
That does not surprise me at all.
Dan Aykroyd thinks that the Men in Black are real, and that he has been confronted by them multiple times.
I think the Men in Black are real.
Oh, and they tell him, like, do not ever talk about this. And he went on some late night TV show, and as he was going on, they came to him. So as soon as he got in front of the camera, he was like, hey, I was just, the Men in Black just talked to me outside and told me not to tell you about this alien conspiracy. I was like, whoa, Dan Aykroyd, calm down. Go back to Saturday Night Live where you belong. So let's get to what happened in Hall H, the really important shit, the Marvel breakdown. And I want to say we're all going to pick one thing. I hope, because we did no prep before this episode. It was very, very hectic. But
I prep a lot every episode.
I hope we all choose different things. Tank, what did you love? What did you,
All right.
or if you hated it, whatever.
So
Marvel.
I don't know which one to go with. 'Cause
Oh gosh.
I have one that I feel like I should pick, and then one that I feel
I
like
have one that I want to scream from the top of a mountaintop right now.
is it Blade?
No.
Okay, I'll start with Blade. So
How you're go ahead.
no, okay, I'll let you have Blade then. The one I'm gonna go with is
Go ahead.
okay. So then I'm gonna go with Blade because I love the Wesley Snipes Blade movies. If I thought like guilty pleasure was a thing, I don't really care because I like movies. That would be like a guilty pleasure. I just love those movies. I understand they're not Oscar winning.
I hate
understand.
number two.
I know Wesley Snipes like kind of overacts the shit out of them, and at some places, but I love those movies. I also love Mahershala Ali in the stuff I've seen him in. So
Yes.
What is he in? What is he in?
He's Cottonmouth in Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Okay, didn't make it that far.
No,
like episode
it's
He's
like
the
episode-
very damn beginning of the
I
thing
know.
I'm talking about.
He's the villain in Alita, Battle Angel.
Didn't watch it.
Did you watch the trailer? I didn't see him either, but the trailer was sick.
Trailer for what?
Luke Cage.
Hold up. You guys haven't
Moonlight.
seen Alita Battle Angel?
No.
I need to. It's on. It's on.
How do I hang out with you people? Like,
I need to
seriously.
watch it.
I
heard
don't
it was good.
watch a lot of.
He was in the Hunger Games Part 1, Mockingjay Part. Oh, both Mockingjay ones. I didn't realize.
You know what?
that.
I'm gonna just
Oh.
laugh right now.
Oh, I bet I remember.
If you saw his face, because the big thing,
I saw his face, and like I read an article about the new Blade stuff,
yeah,
and I was like, oh, he sounds like fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like this sounds really, and
So
like, yeah, like the write up about him as an actor sounded amazing, and I was like, yeah, this is gonna be great. Like I'm stoked, super stoked for the new Blade actually, but yeah, I just had never really recognized anything that he was in, I guess.
but
But
yeah,
I
like because one of the articles I was reading, and it was saying that basically, they're like, oh, so why Blade? And they're like, and why Mahershala Ali? And Kevin Feige was like, it's the same reason. It's Blade because Mahershala Ali, and it's Mahershala Ali is the reason we're doing Blade. Apparently, Mahershala came to them and was like, hey, I want to do Blade. And they were like, yo, that's fucking sick.
That's awesome.
Yeah, called him to say, that's what, Kurt's saying the same thing. And that's dope. Like, having somebody who is that dedicated
Two-time
to
Oscar winner, by the way.
Because
well-
from Moonlight, right? And then I'm sure something else.
well, so that's awesome because Ryan Reynolds did the same thing.
Exactly. And so I mean,
Batfleck.
What's that?
No,
Batfleck, he's a sick.
Snyder went after Batfleck.
yeah. So
Batfleck is sick. I like Batfleck.
He is.
I can't
Have
say
you seen the new pictures of him, by the way?
Ben
He
Affleck.
had the best reaction.
I saw a recent picture of the guy. He looks like he's back in Batman shape. Like seriously, he's walking
Have you-
and his pecs are just lifting his shirt.
Have you seen
Ben
the
Affleck?
like weird, humongous Phoenix back piece tattoo that he has? It looks really weird.
Yo,
But
he is straight South Boston. Okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm pumped because I'm hoping in my what I hope is that you get an actor character combination, the likes of RDJ and Iron Man, Chris Evans and Captain America.
Cap.
Like that kind of like I have to play this character. They gave him this character and he takes it and runs with it for whatever 3 solo movies and then a couple guest appearances. Like that's what I want to see with Blade because I love the Blade movies.
Let me throw a question into the mix. now that Blade is coming and Morpheus is not Morpheus. What's his name?
Morbius.
No, the vampire villain
Vampire.
The
from
vampire-
Spider-Man. He used to be in Spider-Man the animated.
Morbius.
I
Morbius.
said Morbius.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do you think it's gonna be the 1990 whatever Spider-Man animated mashup where it was Blade and Spider-Man versus Morbius, and
Yes.
Morbius ended up killing Gwen, turning
Yes.
her into a thing, and then Blade was like, "I'm gonna kill him," and Spider-Man was like, "You can't kill people."
Blade's like, fucking watch me.
Yeah, he's like, "What?" That was like one of my favorite story arcs in the animated series.
Yeah, that's dope.
Whoa.
I always
When
loved it
Blade
when they
was
did
there,
those, you
and it
know?
was
when
just-
whenever they paired two this different characters and you had to play them off each other like that, and that Spider-Man Blade combination was hilarious.
Yeah, it was so good, right?
Hilarious.
Like now they have that opportunity to do that. I think the Morbius might not be in the MCU. I think it might be like one of these like spin-off things, kind of like the Joker is doing and stuff like that. I don't know if it's actually canon, but what's his name is Morbius, right? The Joker.
Joaquin Phoenix.
No.
Jared Leto.
Yeah, Jared Leto. I think is Morbius, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, which she's probably a better Morbius. That like if they would have let him make his own Joker, he probably would have been sick. But he's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I don't think Heath Ledger is doing it.
No.
Oh, is that too
Well, I don't
soon?
think Joaquin Phoenix would be Morbius either.
So I want to go ahead and slide mine in here because
Before somebody takes
it's like it's been on my chest for so long. Can I just get a fucking Jim Fantastic? The Fantastic Four, and how they just kind of said, yeah, we have all of these in the Fantastic Four, and we're doing all this. It didn't have any kind of signage. It didn't have anything, and they just slipped it in casual, like, oh yeah, Fantastic Four. Like no worries.
Yeah, they also had some fan people were saying like him and his wife.
Yes, they've done casting, and the first people that they reached out to, Emily Blunt and John Krasinski.
Hey.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
Did they
I'm
make
so
it?
down
Did they
for
make the
that.
cut, or is it
so
still
into
like
that.
under wraps?
What's that?
Did they like make the cut or something?
No, they haven't. I don't think they've got a final thing, because he would have been announced at San Diego Comic-Con if it was finalized.
Yeah.
Like, hey, John Krasinski is going to be Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
But the fact that they were like, hey, yeah, we're doing Fantastic Four, it was a rumor that they were casting for the Fantastic Four. And that John Krasinski and Emily Blunt were the first two reached out to. But now we're starting to see, like, it actually looks like this is happening.
That'd
So
be awesome.
Fantastic Four is happening. John Krasinski has been a fan favorite for years for this role. And I think Emily Blunt would be perfect for. And did you guys see A Quiet Place? I know Tank and Naru didn't see it.
I watched the trailer like 7 times, but it looks terrifying.
It was good. Don't watch it if you love your children, because spoiler alert: in the first 5 minutes, his kid dies.
Oh shit.
So yeah, the whole movie is based around that. But it shows those two playing off of each other, and they act so well. Like it's not the lovey-dovey, but it's like you actually believe this family is in a fucked up situation. Like it was good.
Ever since Edge of Tomorrow, I'm an Emily Blunt fan. I'm down. Like she crushed that movie. So
He did.
I'm
It actually made me believe Tom Cruise was a wuss.
Emily Blunt is awesome, but John Krasinski, after 13 hours, like before that, I was like, yeah, he's Jim. And now he's done 13 hours. He's done Jack Ryan for Amazon.
Oh yeah.
This guy
I never finished that series.
John
Wasn't
Krasinski.
she initially supposed to be Black Widow before they cast Scarlett Johansson?
I think they were looking at her to be Black Widow, but
I
she
think
didn't.
she was actually in the front runner.
Really?
When they
That
finally-
would have been a completely different Black Widow.
So that is like my number one, all of San Diego Comic-Con, other than the massive Gundam rolling around. That is my number one thing, is the fact that they just mentioned Fantastic Four. Like, oh yeah, and we're doing Fantastic Four. It's awesome. I've been geeking out since they did that.
I'm pumped.
I can see for. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, as I said, I'm pumped because I've been saying that they need to do a Fantastic Four movie before they try and touch X-Men, because Fan Four Stick was garbage. We just got Dark Phoenix, which I still haven't seen, so I'm fucking pumped to see MCU Fantastic Four.
Alrighty then.
I want Fantastic Four because Captain America is gone. Naru and I were talking about this on our way to Atlanta Comic-Con. He and I have to find these new pillars in the MCU.
Yeah.
Continue our feud. I mean,
yeah, and continue a feud here. And right now, the strongest thing I have to latch onto is Ant-Man. And I mean, I don't think he's ever going to have a feud with anybody.
Straight up.
But I could seriously see a feud between Mr. Fantastic and whoever Naru chooses, because it's probably going to be someone the opposite. But I love it because when I was younger, I loved Captain America because I was the Marine. I was all this. But now that I'm at home, I'm the family guy. Mr. Fantastic has like 1 million kids. Well, he adopts 1 million kids, but he's got it's the family setting, and I'm like, oh, I love it. I love it so much. Like, give me something to latch onto. But Rue, what did you like from Marvel?
Okay, let me just say first of all that the only reason I think you were super thrilled about the Fantastic Four news, which we've all known is coming anyway, I mean, yeah, and they tossed it at the end of everything, is because you weren't following everything as it happened live. Because if you were, you would have been like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, until the end, and you were like, what? Oh yeah, awesome. But you would have been.
No, dude, there's nothing they announced that had me excited.
No, you're missing the point. My point is, if you were watching everything as it happened, you would have been.
Nah, but the secondary would have been a standalone Hawkeye movie. The third would have been Thor: Love and Thunder,
which is the coolest name ever, by the way. Oh, by the way, in case you haven't seen it online, there's a new video released, like a deleted scene of Thor pissing in Ragnarok, I think, in Asgard, which has got some fans really pissed off. Like, you guys just wanted to totally shit on Thor this whole movie. But anyway, in terms of the thing that really got me surprised and excited outside of Blade was the Doctor Strange movie. Like,
that was my other one.
I knew Doctor Strange was coming, and they announced it, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then the name is the Multiverse of Madness. So 1, you're getting a Doctor Strange sequel.
Hell yeah.
2, you're getting Doctor Strange delving into the multiverse. Yeah. Curious to see how he does that. And 3, this is cool. Scott Derrickson, the guy who directs Doctor Strange, is a noted horror movie filmmaker.
Yeah.
Okay, like this is his genre. So when he was initially cast to do Doctor Strange, I thought, thank God they're going to restrain him, because he's going to try to scare the shit out of me in Doctor Strange. But they restrained him. Now, I love the guy for 2 reasons. 1, because he did Doctor Strange. But 2, because he's also what you call an openly Christian director. Like, he's one of the guys out there who talks about his faith a lot and everything. I'm like, how do you have that faith and you produce this twisted stuff? But he's doing this movie, and it's the first time Marvel is going to delve into the horror genre. That's what I heard. Like, he's going to do Doctor Strange as a
scary
horror
movie in MCU.
Yeah, the first scary movie coming out from Marvel. I'm like, okay, I'm signed. I'm definitely going to see it. I don't see horror movies, so I'm going to see it, and I'm like, let's see if you can scare me. Like, seriously. So I know I scare easy anyway, but let's see what they can do.
I'm pumped because it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be the perfect scary movie for me and Unaru, because they've come out and said that it's still gonna be PG-13.
Right.
Benedict's come out and said that they still want to try and keep some of the like comedy and some of that funny structure from the first movie,
which works in horror anyway. Yeah.
Right. So it's gonna be the perfect like bridge of like, yeah, it's probably gonna be scary and there's gonna be some like weird imagery and stuff, but it's not gonna be so like, freak me the fuck out. So
get out of here with that shit.
I mean, it's Doctor Strange, so they can definitely do some super immersive stuff with the like. Anybody who saw Far From Home for the first time, you really understand just how immersive the experience of Mysterio's powers can be, and then they could use that and twist it and do stuff in Doctor Strange that you can expect them to just blow your mind.
And I'm interested too because WandaVision is supposed to lead right into this movie, and then she's starring in the movie with him.
And with that, I'm finally interested in WandaVision. I was not interested in that show to begin with.
Curious, like, to me that seems like on paper such an odd pairing, Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch. So I'm very curious to see what that dynamic looks like, how this movie unravels. I'm ready.
My secret wish is that we get a surprise cameo from Blade in Doctor Strange.
I don't know.
It's possible.
Because Blade's not even going to be Phase 4. Blade's going to be after
Doesn't
Phase
matter.
4.
You can have him cameo.
Yeah.
Yo, Kurt brought up a sick intro here. Brother Voodoo.
They can do so much with those kinds of guys.
They're talking about,
Like,
the
but
other
see,
rumor is
Easter
Nightmare.
egg, Brother Voodoo.
Yeah.
That's it right there. Like, that is sick. But see, Kurt also brought up the Scarlet Witch.
Right.
I think that they shouldn't use the Scarlet Witch for Doctor Strange, and they should do a reverse of what she actually did in comics, and they can use her to create mutants. Because in the comics, she killed off all mutants. So that, or you use Doctor Strange to link two universes together where mutants already exist.
Let me go back to your first statement.
Voodoo?
You're right. They could actually use her to do something like, you know what? Why are you looking at me like I'm so strange? Because I have powers. Okay, fine. Everybody has powers. Boom. Chaos magic goes to work, and all of a sudden people start mutating, and you start seeing stuff happen.
Isn't she against Doctor Strange? Like they're
Say
not
again?
like opposite.
What?
Isn't it like he the good guy and she's the bad guy in that movie?
No, they're not in the same movie. Like Doctor Strange, she was initially the bad guy in Winter Soldier.
In Age of Ultron.
It was the Age of Ultron.
Sorry, Age of Ultron.
Yeah, I know.
And eventually,
in the Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah, she was.
She was never in the Doctor Strange movie.
No, the new Doctor Strange movie, the one we're talking about.
Oh yeah. Well,
Fucking
there's
talking
rumors
about
that she's
the
going
next
to end
Doctor
up
Strange
being that.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like he could say, "Oh, we don't want to open up other universes to our universe," and she could say, "Fuck you," and then just bring a mutant universe into our universe. That's probably how.
That's true. Doctor Strange could be like, well, we're not trying to.
He's the guardian of our Earth,
one.
of our universe, or whatever. And
Right.
Could be like, yeah, fuck you. I want a new Vision because he dies.
And then bring another universe in where mutants already exist.
Right.
The point is they make the point that the events of WandaVision tie into Doctor Strange directly.
Right.
So however WandaVision ends, we can expect that to give us clues about which direction they go. They could have her turn before they ever show her in, Doctor Strange's movie, or they could have her troubled by something, and then the culmination is in that movie. So there's so many directions they could take with that.
So I have a question about those shows, real quick. I guess these shows are more like mini series. Then it's not going to be like the Arrowverse where it's this like long running TV. It's going to be these little like probably 8, 12, 13 episode little mini series that will then tie into the movies.
Kind of like they're pretty much supposed to be like the Netflix shows, but maybe shorter.
Yeah.
But no sequels planned yet.
So
I didn't realize that.
I think it's great that they're coming out with their own TV stuff and all of this. And what we've got so far has been great, and it's been good storytelling. But now that we're talking about it, I think how they introduce the Fantastic Four and how they introduce the X-Men, this is going to be huge for Marvel and the MCU because those are two staples that have been in comics almost as long as Marvel has been in business. Like the Fantastic Four is the first superhero team. So for them to kind of be like after the Avengers is going to be odd. And
that's why I think they'll bring them from another universe.
It's odd to you.
Well, it's odd to me, and it won't be odd to Tank, right? But it'll also be odd to you, Naru.
Not really, no.
Well, as comic book people, if you want it to stay true, right? Fantastic Four is before all of the other stuff.
Sure.
But
I agree with that. But here's the thing. Also, for some of us, like Fantastic Four, I wasn't introduced to them early. Like I was introduced to a bunch of other stuff early.
But you knew. if you know comic history, you
Yeah.
know Fantastic Four is the first superhero team Marvel ever did, period.
They're the reason we have Justice.
I know that. I agree with that. That's true.
But
My
what I'm
point
saying is
you said it'd be weird.
It's going to be weird to see them come after. So I want to see how they introduce them into the MCU, because there has to be a level of respect there, because everything the MCU has done has been popular for the fans.
They could pull a Sentry.
What's up?
Remember how Sentry was introduced? And say, oh, these guys were here, but everybody forgot.
Right. So, but see that in the X-Men. The X-Men have such a huge following, and you know the MCU is going to do it right. I'm looking forward to how they introduce them in the MCU, because you know it's not going to be like some random, well, now they're here.
No.
It's going to be something grand. There's going to be a huge culmination event to how they actually get there. They're not just going to go, oh yeah, and the X-Men are here now. It's like, really? Because now we have all these movies where there were no mutants, and now you're telling us there are mutants.
See, I think, yeah, I agree. You can't do that with X-Men. There's got to be some kind of big reveal or build up to X-Men. I feel like Fantastic Four. Hang on. I feel like Fantastic Four, and that's you could kind of get away with it because it's just 4 of them. Right, and yeah, they've got like villains and stuff.
Sneak them in.
Right, but yeah, so I agree that X-Men's gonna have to be something big because there's so many. Because the mutants is so encompassing. Fantastic Four could, show up, or like Kurt was saying, period piece, and then bring him back to the future.
So I don't know, Kurt, if you're actually reading the current Fantastic Four, but that is a story they could do. Naru, I don't know if you're reading the current Fantastic Four, but they could do a period piece. Right, saying like, hey, in the 80s, this team started. Well, in the books, after the what do you guys call it? The Fantastic Four? Yeah, the Four Stick. After that, they killed off the Fantastic Four in the comics, right? They said, we're not going to make any more Fantastic Four comics because they messed it up so bad and there was so much hate there. They took them out of comics.
That's funny.
But they brought them back due to popular demand. And they just wrote the story saying like they're traveling universes because they could bring the Fantastic Four back, but have Franklin Richards there and say, yeah, we were just traveling universes. Like, so Thanos, all this stuff, that was minor. Like, that was little stuff. We're worried about like Galactus.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we're worried about. That would be cool. Thanks, Kurt. That's awesome. Do a period piece, and then they travel chasing Galactus because they're not really worried about Thanos.
Yeah.
And then come back. That would be sick.
Agree. They could do it that way.
Yeah, I think that would work because
they could just rip open another universe and say they're here from another universe because they got the multiverse available to them.
Right.
We've been traveling, through all these universes because Franklin Richards creates universes. And that's what they were doing. He was creating universes, and they were basically just like hopping from universe to universe. So that would be cool. But X-Men, I think that's going to be a huge, huge undertaking.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're going to see it anytime soon.
Nope.
I mean, the word is we're not even going to see Blade's movie for like the next 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting to me because Mahershala Ali is 45. In 4 years, he's going to be 49. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, at some point, you got to say yes to the guy, but got to think, okay, because I'm concerned. Like, I get it, black don't crack and all that stuff. There's this room, but let's be very honest. Black people age 2 ways. They either, there's some people that age and they kind of fill out and just kind of get a little full. And then there's those who kind of shrink into themselves. Like, right now I'm watching the team and every time I see War Machine, I'm like, dude, you're getting older.
You know who's not going to age?
Who?
Shang-Chi. The Asian people, they just don't age.
Really?
Ever. Yeah.
No,
my
they don't
grandmother- What's up, B?
They age all at once. They look like 23 until they're like 50 something.
And then boom.
But like 80.
But once they look 50 something, they stay looking 50.
That's what I'm saying. There's like just like slots of like, oh, you still look 23, and it's like, oh, you're like 70 from like 50 until like 90, and then once you hit 90, you just become like friggin' a century old or something. Like,
Yeah.
just like a bag of bones.
All right, B. What has you most stoked about the Marvel stuff?
Well, I was gonna talk about what Nerd talked about because I've been watching a shit ton of Sherlock, and I love them cheekbones, but I'm pretty excited. So my second thing, I'm pretty excited about the what if aspect that they're bringing in because not necessarily like the earlier what if stuff, which led to like, oh, Hulk actually being smart as the Hulk and stuff like that. But later they did like, what if Stan Lee did DC? Like that was a stuff of what if Stan Lee did Batman, or what if Stan Lee did Aquaman, and they made their own like versions of all those characters. So I actually read those comics super long time ago when I was a little kid. So like the what if stuff is pretty exciting to me. Yeah. I think it's going to be cool. I want to see what they actually do. Like if they're actually taking the old stories that were told way back when it first started, and they're like making those into like each episode's like a Twilight Zone type thing. Or if they're just coming up with new shit. Like they're just making new what if scenarios.
What if Deadpool led the Avengers?
Yeah, like if they're just coming up with like cool new ones now that like they're like, oh, these characters are popular and these aren't popular anymore. Let's do some of this stuff. Or if they're gonna be like just recreate the old stories. I'm really stoked to see what they do with that. I don't know if it's gonna be good or bad. I just want to see it happen, type thing.
It's an interesting concept. It is very interesting. Like, didn't you? Almost everybody's going to admit you enjoyed having that second view at events you already seen in Avengers. Like when you saw in Endgame, like when the whole battle for New York, when you see everything that happened played out from a different side and the conversations after the fact and all that stuff. It was kind of fun to see. So I can expect to see some of that. My only concern, I'm going to be honest about this right now, Marvel animation sucks.
It's really bad animation.
It's not that bad, but it's
not that bad, but it sucks.
It's the art. It's not even the story. Like the stories are fucking good. It's the art.
The art how much
money they are willing to put into the art.
Mass produced shit.
And with how much they like pitched animated things at San Diego Comic-Con for probably the first time in a while. Because they've always just focused on like MCU, like actual movies or like stuff like that. Hopefully they put more of a budget into the animation side of like the art side of these animated shorts or whatever they're going to be series.
If they give it to the same team, I will be pissed.
Ooh.
Yeah, if it comes out and you can tell it's like 12 frames per second and you can see it choppy as shit, I'll be mad.
I'll be pissed.
Well,
like, hell, come on. Because, I mean, check it out. They're actually bringing the actual actors to do the voices.
Yeah, and like, they're bringing a lot of hype by actually talking about it in Hall H.
Thank you. It's going to be Hall H. You can't
correct me if I'm wrong.
With this stuff.
This is the first animation that is actually canon in the MCU.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it was not canon, but it's tied to the MCU.
Right.
So like the Doctor Strange animated film was exactly the same as the regular Doctor Strange movie.
But it's not MCU.
Right.
Like it's the exact same thing. So it's like like they didn't pitch it as this, but like if you watched that instead of the Doctor Strange movie, you would know what the fuck happened.
Right. So I think that they're going to put a little bit more into it because
that's not encouraging, man. Put your money where your mouth is. Say a lot. You said a little. I'm like, come on, say a lot. Let's have a feud over this. Like
they're gonna just because the pedigree of the three letters MCU so much weight, they're gonna put more money into this.
And like Kurt was saying, the one thing that DC has over Marvel is their animated stuff is fucking amazing, and everyone knows it. So if you're gonna come out with animated stuff, you're gonna be compared to DC animated. and you're either gonna rise to the occasion.
Has Marvel come out with a lot of animated stuff since they've been under Disney though?
I don't think so.
I think most of it was like pre-Disney.
Thor,
So that's
Wolverine.
another thing to like
That's true.
be hopeful for. Like Disney can make a fucking animated show.
That's true.
Like they are the shit
Yeah.
at animation. They made the first like animated movie. and
Yo,
stuff.
I just watched The Lion King.
The new one.
Yeah, Disney is fucking awesome at animation.
I need to.
I've had mixed reviews.
The Lion King, they're just fucking showing off.
Like, yo, just so we're clear,
It's so good.
if this stuff is computer generated, like CGI animation,
Oh, I hate that so much.
I'm just saying, if they do that to do almost near photorealistic animation, yeah, okay, cool. That's a lot of money. I don't think they will.
No, it'll be a regular animated show probably. But I hope it's not like all those Netflix ones that are like
At least do Star Wars
that
level, right?
weird half CGI anime. You know what I'm talking about? Jason knows what I'm talking about. Like Ultraman is like that. It's like just that weird ass.
Oh,
it
like
flips back and forth
Netflix
between-
anime?
Yeah.
I fucking hate it so
I
bad.
don't like Netflix anime.
I mean, there's
Well,
multiple
I like the
animation
story.
shows that are like
art.
Yeah.
there's multiple shows like that.
Listen,
Yeah,
all
the new
that stuff
season
is better than
is-
all that stuff is better
like-
than Marvel cartoons. I'll take it.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think that
You gotta
because
agree
of
with
the pedigree, it's going to be better. That's and they wouldn't have announced it in Hall H. They would have announced it somewhere else if it
Did you know?
was not going to
fucking
happen.
Instagram.
D23
probably.
or yeah.
Yeah.
Instagram.
I don't know, man.
They wouldn't have even announced
Release
at
it.
Comic-Con. It would have been like a Twitter post.
Yeah.
Hey, check this out. Pooh.
Yeah.
Did you guys, anybody go see the re-release of Endgame?
I did.
No.
What do you think about the CGI for Hulk at the end?
Well, I mean, the fact that it was unfinished.
Yeah,
I mean, it's unfinished. Like,
it's my point. Like, what I mean, my point is they apparently will do that shit. So let's not, let's not. You know, they'll put some lame stuff out occasionally. I just hope this is.
I'm not mad about that. In my opinion, the only reason they did that was so they could beat Avatar at the box office. They just needed an excuse for more people to come so they could finally get over that last hump.
Yeah, now Avatar is like, okay, let's fire it up one more time. Fire it up. How many times
By
have
the
you been
way-
to the theater? Twice? 3 times? Let's fire it up.
So yeah, that scene was dumb and like really didn't
Yeah.
do anything. Like I 100% understand why they cut it, but I more enjoyed the little Stan Lee thing they put at the very end.
So, did you guys see like the popular hashtag that was going around last weekend?
Which one?
Snyder release the Snyder cut.
That was a while ago, wasn't it?
No,
It was
trended
all over
again.
park benches.
Well,
Well,
it trended again just before San Diego Comic-Con because they had like billboards
Yeah.
and everything.
they were doing billboards. There were like the bus stops were covered in hashtag.
Dude, at this point,
Snyder
just
cut.
release it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Yeah,
Did he
like,
ever say there was? Is there a completed? I don't think he said there was a completed Snyder cut.
He did.
He did?
it's 3.5 hours, and apparently, it actually saves the Justice League movie.
I mean, I'm all for it because the
Yo,
Justice League movie.
It's
was such a
better,
letdown.
but it's still shit in terms of what Snyder type. It's still Snyder type shit.
Yeah, but have you seen it?
No, but I've you know
But have you seen
I've read scenes, I've read parts of stuff
But
there. I've
have
seen
you
photos. I follow a lot of that stuff.
Okay, but let's be honest. If they release it, would you watch it?
No, of course I want them to release
Of
it.
course, I would watch it.
Yeah, I
Doesn't
want them
even
to
take
release
half
it.
a
It's
second
only to
about it.
put the argument to rest. You know what I'm saying?
I would watch it. I don't even think the Justice League was that bad. It's just like the animation. When you compare it to Marvel, it sucked. Just like Marvel's animation compared to DC sucked.
Well,
But
You know what I think about
that's
Justice
we
League?
can take a whole episode and argue about that. So
I think Justice League was like Fan Four Stick. Here's why. Fan Four Stick was basically one director starts it, another guy finishes it. So it's like in the middle.
like Solo.
Justice League was like one director started it, second director just overlaid it with a bunch of other stuff, and it feels like that's what I think about Justice League. Let's have one director's vision. Let's see what it is.
Suicide Squad is another example.
Gross.
Having said that, are we talking about any of the other stuff? You know, Hawkeye.
I mean,
No.
Okay.
We're already. What are we at, Tank? Oh, we're over an hour, guys.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna wrap it up this week. We have so much more to talk about, like the Amazon series that I'm starting this weekend, The Boys.
Yep.
I mean, there's so much from San Diego Comic-Con. We might even get into it next week. But Tank, tell them where to find you.
Yeah, you guys can find me all over the internet at The Caped Critic. You can find us at Dragon Con this year in Atlanta. We're going to be Saturday night at 10:30 down with the Media Creator Track. I don't remember what room we're in, but...
Yeah, it'll be everywhere, and we'll find you. And it's going to be all 4 of us.
Yeah.
And a gang.
So it's going to be dope. Make sure you come check us out.
Rolling with the triads.
Because,
All right.
man, our live stuff's way better.
Rue, tell them where to find you.
You can find me online at the Niger Nerd on Twitter, Instagram, and I don't even do that anymore, but Tumblr. Hit me up. Let's have a debate about something and hopefully have some fun, make some new friends.
So I will tag on to Tanks. If you haven't seen our live show, come see our live show. Atlanta Comic-Con, I think there were 2 people left in the convention hall, and somehow we almost filled a room full of people. I have no idea how we do it. We just do it. We drink beer, and we have a great time yelling at people.
We just lied that Brandon's going to be there.
What?
We just lied to the audience that Brandon's going to be there.
Yeah, we just keep telling them Brandon's going to be there, and they keep showing up. They're sadly disappointed every time. Wildly disappointed. Thank you, Kurt. You'll be showing up. I want to add one last thing from Kurt. Kurt says that if the Justice League movie came out in the early 90s, we'd be neck deep in the DCU.
Yes.
I agree with that.
100%.
You can find me on Instagram and the old tweet machine at Houdini0333. And hey, B, they've waited for it.
Well,
Slow down. I'm going to get my phone.
I don't know if you've been keeping up with our following, like I have, the type of people who actually watch the show. Most of them are astral beings, so I'm trying to reach out to our consumers. So you can actually find me on ghostsingles.com at bmiller425 if you're a ghost female or ghost male, I guess, because I've never seen either. You can look me up.
What?
I just want to hang out, maybe get a coffee even.
Ouija boards are not included.
Yeah, just maybe like an abandoned warehouse or something. I don't know where you meet up for those types of things. I just want to see like if you're real, maybe.
Freaking, was it Blowjob Ghost from what movie is that? Is that
I don't know, but
Sounds like Scary Movie.
I think it's
you
the
made it way
scary
weirder
movie.
than I usually make it.
Yo, Jason, you and I can get on.
All right. You guys can find all of us at TheNerdsFromWork.com. You can find us on our social media at Twitter and Instagram at NerdsFromWork. You can find us on YouTube, iTunes, and SoundCloud at The Nerds From Work. Hey, from all of us here at the workplace, peace.